What's going on, guys? And in this video I'm going to be reading to you guys Islam in America, which is taking place in the New York Times up front. By the way, this is a magazine article, but I call it a story because I really think it's interesting. By the way, this is the new book I got this year for grade 10, and you can see it's in blue, and it's just like the one that I had last year. As you can see it, again, this is what it looked like. But yeah, it's just like the one from last year, but it says grade 10 and it's in blue. The other one I used to have was in purple. So anyways, guys, this is a story that is really interesting, and I could teach you guys a lesson here. I could teach you guys a lesson or two. Anyways, so without any further ado, let's get into this. So like most American teenagers, 17-year-old Sana Haq enjoys hanging out with her friends and going to the movies. She just got her driver's license and she's stressing over college applications. But Sana, a high school senior from Norwood, New Jersey, is an observant Muslim, and that makes her different from most of her friends. Unfortunately, kind of sad to hear that. So she prays 5 times a day as Islam requires. She wears only modest clothing. Basically that means she's completely covered, so no shorts, no bathing suits, nothing too snug. I'm not sure what snug means. And going to the mall for a pair of jeans can turn into a week-long quest because most are too tight or low cut to meet her definition of decent. Islam, she says, every aspect of her life. If you ask me to describe myself in one word, that word would be Muslim, said Sana, who was born in the United States, or the US for short, to Pakistani immigrants. Not American, not Pakistani, not a teenager, it's Muslim. It's the most important thing to me. Well, okay then. Largely because of immigrant families like Sana's, Islam is one of the fastest growing religions in the US since census doesn't track religious affiliations. The number of Americans Muslims is hard to pin down. The estimates range from 1.5 million to 9 million. I'll tell you the vocab later, but let's keep going. Whatever its size, the Muslim community in the US is very diverse. According to a 2004 poll by Georgetown University, Zogby polling, South Asians, Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladesh, etc. are the largest group, followed by Arabs and African Americans. Starting in the 1960s, a significant number of blacks in the US converted to Islam. 36% of American Muslims were born in the US. The other 64% come from 80 different countries. Trying to carve an American Muslim identity out of the diversity is one of the challenges facing young Muslims. They are creating traditions and a culture that is particular to them and not imported from another majority Muslim country, says Taibah Taylor, editor of Aziza, a women's magazine published in Atlanta. Something that blends their American way of thinking and their American way of living with Islamic guidelines. Okay, so as you can see in this photo, there is a bunch of normal females, except this one or two, who is basically wearing a hijab. A hijab, basically, this is what Muslim females wear on their heads. They cover up their hair completely. That's kind of a shame, you know, especially in really hot weather. That could be a hassle, you know. Whenever it comes to really hot weather, it's just too much of a hassle. So as a group, American Muslims have a higher median income than Americans as a whole, and they vote in higher numbers. In addition, they are increasingly contributing to American culture, forming Muslim comedy groups, rap groups, scout troops, magazines, and other media. Their integration into American society and culture stands in contrast to Europe's Muslim communities, which have remained largely on the economic and political fringes. In November of 2005, a month before I was born, Muslims resulted in many French cities. In parts of the US with large Muslim populations, Islam mingles with American traditions. At Dearborn High School in Dearborn, Mich, about 1/3 of the students in the football team are Muslim. Become Ramadan, the Muslim holy month that requires dawn to dusk fasting, coincided with football season this year. Muslim players had to wake up at 4:30 a.m. for a pre-dawn breakfast, go through their classes without eating or drinking, and start most Friday nights games before darkness allowed them to break their fasts. When you start your day off fasting and you get to football at the end of the day, that's the challenge, said Hassan Shabib, a 17-year-old senior. You know you've worked hard, you know you've been faithful. After fasting all day, you feel like a warrior. Because some of Islam's social tenets, modesty and chastity, for example, are so different from American norms. They present a challenge for young Muslims. For Sana, adherence to Islam means she does not date. Dating means going out with someone and spending intimate time with them, and for me, that's not allowed, she explains. But it's not that I don't talk to guys, I have guy friends. That's kind of a shame that Muslim females can't date. That sucks. An impact of 9/11. The terrorist attack of September 11th of 2001 were transformative moments for Muslims in America. On the one hand, there has been an increase in anti-Muslim feeling, discrimination, and hate crimes. On the other hand, many Muslims have responded by taking more interest in their religion and reaching out more to non-Muslims. September 11 exposed American Muslims for the first time to a large degree of hostility, says Ishan Bagby, a professor of Islamic studies at the University of Kentucky. So Muslims have come to the conclusion that isolation is a danger because if people don't know that it's easy for them to accept the worst stereotypes. According to one 2003 poll, 63% of Americans say that they do not have a good understanding of Islam as a religion. Indeed, many young Muslims spend a lot of time correcting common misperceptions about Islam. That it condones terrorism, it doesn't, and that it denies women equal rights, it doesn't, through many majority Muslim cultures and countries do. As you can see, this is what a mosque looks like in Toledo, Detroit. In North Toledo, Detroit, this is what we have. This is the mosque here, basically, and we have mosques here in the United States. Again, this is what the mosques in America looks like. I've seen one in Virginia, I've seen some in Florida, I see some in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, of course, because New Jersey has a lot of Arabs, and I even see some in other states too. It's not just that. When Ibrahim el-Shami, 18, was growing up in Manchester, NH, Islam was a regular part of his life. Every Friday he left school at lunch to attend services at the mosque, also known as Salat al-Guma. Now a freshman at Dartmouth College in Hanover, NH, his religion remains important. 2 days after his arrival on campus, he contacted the Muslim student group. At 5 times a day, he returns to his dorm to say his prayers. Well, that's good. I will do the same thing when I go to college. In college, Ibrahim has found for the first time a Muslim community in which he feels at home. The mosque he and his Egyptian father attended in Manchester attracted many Arab, Asian, and African immigrants. The problem with that, he says, was the people melded their cultural traditions with their practice of Islam. As an American-born Muslim, he'd found that frustrating. Here at Dartmouth, it was extremely refreshing, he says, because I was finally around Muslims who were exactly like me in that respect. Professor Bagby said many young Muslims want to distinguish between Islam's teaching and the cultural traditions often associated with Islam, particularly the role of women, stressing that nothing in the Quran itself prohibits women full participation in religion or in life. American women are increasingly demanding not only equal participation but leadership roles in the mosque. It's definitely rocking some boats, said Taiba Taylor Al-Aziza. than an observant one. She uses the principles of Islam to guide her, but doesn't worry about following every last tenet. Like 20% of American Muslims, she is African American. Her parents converted to Islam before she was born. Other than her name, there's not much about Samia that would tell a stranger she is Muslim. She's a senior at Westmere Academy, a co-ed private school where she's a cheerleader on the varsity mass, track, and field team, in the dance club, and on the school newspaper staff, and she does dates. She views the Quran as something that should not be followed literally, much like other historical documents that should be understood in context. A lot of stuff is still applicable. Honor and respect is always applicable, says Samia. But other things that are cultural, even ideas about sex, need to be taken in context. Back then, people got married when they were 14. Maybe because my family's a converted family, we're just not so orthodox. The Muslim community in America is currently undergoing a generational shift. Most Americans' mosques were formed by first-generation immigrants, and as their American-born children take over, their norms are changing. Islam in America will feel a lot different in the next 40 or so years, Professor Bagby says. It'll feel more American, that's for sure. And that is the end, guys. First off, I'm going to tell you the vocabulary. So affiliations means connections and relationships. Interrogations is the process of combining or including. Misperceptions is incorrect ideas or understandings or misunderstandings. And prohibits, basically it means it's forbidden and it's not allowed. So that is the vocab here, and now I'm going to tell you facts about it. Now first, I'm going to load the presentation on what I understand about this story. Alrighty guys, so now I'm going to share with you guys what I know about Islam in America, the story that I just read to you guys. So I'll tell you, it was a really interesting story, especially that really brought up my my creation of mind. So without any further ado, let's get into this video. So about Islam in America. So 17-year-old Sana Haq from New Jersey, USA, or Norwood, New Jersey. It's like most teenagers. She loves hanging out with her friends and going to the movies. And she is able to drive. She just got her driver's license not long ago. And she's working hard to go to university. But unfortunately, because she's Muslim, there are rules and limitations because of the religion. So what do Muslims do? Well, every Muslim has to pray 5 times a day, never eat pork, you have to fast in Ramadan for 30 days, and for women, they have to be covered up everywhere, except the face, or you can cover up your face if you want, except the eyes. It's up to the women, or also known as modest clothing. Now, what exactly is modest clothing? Well, modest clothing is when women wear that does not reveal the skin. That means no shorts, no bathing suits, or anything like that. Sometimes women even have to wear hijabs. I'm not exactly sure if women have to wear hijab at all times, because I hear if women they wear hijab, especially in the hot weather in the summertime, that would definitely be a hassle, because of the hot weather. That's going to make matters worse. But either they wear it now or they don't listen to the religion. Just let your hair reveal and expose and go to the fire for this. It's either way. So luckily for me, I'm a guy, I'm not a female, so I don't have to wear that. Of course, I can still wear shorts. So, fasting Ramadan in America. Now, if you fast Ramadan in America, that could definitely be challenging than in Egypt or Saudi Arabia or any other Arab countries. In America, that could definitely be challenging because in America doesn't have all those Arab features or those rules that they do in Arab countries. So waking up at 4:30 a.m. for the pre-dawn breakfast before prayer Fajr, or also known as suhoor. Now, fact is suhoor, that is when they wake up at before Salat al-Fajr around 15 or so minutes so they could be able to eat and drink before that, so they don't end up going through the whole day hungry and thirsty, you know. Then they do their classes without eating or drinking and make the time go by after school before the sunset, so that can allow all of us to break our fasts. Now, if I were to go to school in Ramadan, that would definitely be challenging, especially, you know, not eating and drinking. That could definitely be a challenge for me. So I would say that going to school in Ramadan would be a no-no. Now I'm going to give you a bit of a background story. So, I was born in the United States and I grew up there my whole life. Now, before 2018, before coming to Egypt, of course, I came to Egypt in the middle of 2018, so it's been 3 years since that time. And I tell you, before coming to Egypt, at that time, I didn't know much about being Muslim. And, you know, sometimes seeing people wear hijab in America, you know, when I'm in school, or when I'm in the streets, or in the stores, or anything, I would get a little bit frightened, you know. When I was younger, that would just frighten me quite a bit. But nowadays, I know how being a Muslim works. And now when I go to America again, if I see any females wear hijab or anything like that, I wouldn't be afraid because I already know how it works and it doesn't matter to me anymore. Unlike other people though, you know, other people don't understand about it, those non-Muslims, and they would just call those females terrorists, say mean things about them, and want to pull the hijab off of the females' heads. So guys, don't ever think to do something like that. Don't ever pull a hijab off a female's head. Because if you do something like that, you're going to get in a whole lot of trouble. Plus, you could get reported for the hate crime, you know that? So, don't ever do that, ever. So, this is my reminder to all of you guys. So, the end. So, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoy making that story of Islam in America. So, if you like this video, please leave a like. Please leave a like this time, guys, because I made this video the best I could. So there you have it, guys. So I will see you guys again in the next video. Enjoy this video that I showed you guys. Alright, peace.